All right. Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen so that Nathan can stream to the Discord and then start reviewing everyone's portfolio. Who's up first?
I have Levi's stuff up first.
All right, take it away, man.
Awesome, cool. Welcome everybody to our monthly portfolio review. So I guess that's to get a general gist of this. We try to do these like every month, just so we have a mass of people get their portfolios reviewed, and give you guys some feedback to kind of help you either improve your portfolio, or help you get into industry, anything of that nature. So pretty much how I kind of do this is right now I think we have 4 to 5 people's portfolios up, and I believe all of you are in the chat, which is great. So I'll essentially will have like a banter between me and one other person, and we'll just start talking about portfolio. Usually, how I do this too is like I'll go over your portfolio first. I'll show you some examples of portfolios like mine or some other people who are also in industry, and yeah, we try to talk about them and see how we can help you guys improve. Cool. Oh, all right. Anything else we need? Anything else we need, Ryan, or can I just get started?
No, I think you're good. That was perfect. Let's do it.
Awesome. Sweet. All right.
Is Levi
First
here?
person up. Yeah, I think he's here.
Hey, what's up?
Levi. Hello there, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm tired. How you guys doing?
That's a mood. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Ready to get your portfolio review?
Yeah, ready to rumble. I appreciate y'all for doing this.
Yes, sir. All right. First things first that I see. Level design for games. Cool. Okay, you got a Valorant map. You got Thor. So I guess first thing you do that's really good is I can just see your product straight up. I don't have to click around and do stuff all over the place. Let me see here. Let's see. CHMA level design for games. Okay, so we have your stuff here. Okay. So one thing that I know pretty much everybody who is like a level design student does CHMA for level design. Rather than that, so this is my personal opinion. Rather than having it being like the first thing I see on your project, because it's just more of a course. What you can do is like, because you have some really good stuff here. What you can do is like work on a project that encapsulates like you kind of using this. So, say for example, you took this course and you're like, all right, cool, I want to make like a Last of Us level of my own personal stuff. Because to me, what it does, it'll show that like, hey, you've understand the course because now you're applying what you learned here into another project rather than just having everything here from CGP level design. Although a lot of stuff here looks really good, and I do like it a lot actually. So this is all pretty solid. Another thing also I would say, rather than having this be the first thing I see, probably have some of your projects up here a little bit higher. That way I can kind of see like more of your original work. Let me take a look. Okay, play. Guessing this is okay, cool. So this is a whole gameplay. That's cool. I like seeing gameplay videos because I can see the whole level being played the way it's supposed to be played. So that's really awesome. Let's take a look at your breakdowns here. So yeah, Levi, one big thing that I know that's really important is showing off your process. So of course here you have like your introduction level design stuff, but I would love to see like, any game documents that you use. Anything also where it's like why you built the level the way you did, or why are there 7 enemies in this space? Why do you have it like this? So I also show off like your progression. So from top down to a block out to arting up, that's a big thing that the industry likes to see is more your progress. So I guess to get a better example of that, just to show off my portfolio here, start off one of my old student projects. I kind of do a thing like this where I have my gameplay video, I have like responsibilities that I've done, and then here at the bottom I show off like my progression from like a top-down map to doing things in Maya. Stuff in Engine, and then final art. And of course, Levi, you have any questions, you feel free to ask them. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
hmm And yeah, a big thing also is like having GIFs is really helpful as well, since as level designers, we kind of have to show the level being played. Like for us, having screenshots really isn't enough, because like this comes off more as like environment art, because all I'm seeing is the art. I'm not seeing like the actual level being played. Like the video helps for sure, but having some GIFs and some other things here to show off your progression and other mechanics of the game would be really, really helpful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Quick question
Yes, sir.
for making GIFs. So I tried to do this earlier, but I was having problems with just file size.
Mhm.
Like, what do you have like a go-to? I don't know, conversion to GIF spot. You know what I mean?
Screen to GIFs is a good
Yes.
app.
Screen to GIFs.
Yeah.
Screen to GIFs, and then
Yeah.
usually I do screen to GIF, and then I usually find like a compressor, online compressor thing. I just try to compress a GIF as much as I can so it can like upload to whatever website builder I'm using.
Cool. Okay.
So
Thank you.
I have a question if I can jump in.
What's up, Brian?
Is that cool? So,
Yeah.
Levi, is it Levi or is it Levy or is there?
Levi. Yeah,
It
like
is,
the
okay,
jeans.
Okay, cool. Right on. So like what's you work at Naughty Dog right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in QA.
Okay, cool. How is it like do you feel like you have time to work on personal projects outside of work? Like just tell me more about like, what's your like where are you right now with everything? Like what are you doing and what's your goal?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that CGMA course, I got about 2 weeks left in that. So I've my quote unquote personal projects have all been living in that realm.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, to put it bluntly, I'm a single dude with not many responsibilities. So after work, I really have all the free time imaginable.
Okay. Are you trying to get into like a PvP situation, or like where do you want to work, or like what what's your
Yeah, good
timeline,
question.
like, and where do you want to be? Yeah.
I really enjoy, so the CGMA course is a lot of like, I mean, it's only single player, and I really enjoy kind of the single player concepts, right? Level design concepts, but I do think I would prefer to specialize more in a PvP situation.
Okay.
A question I had in that vein was, as far as like I try to think about it in terms of the things I like to play. Like things I like to play, does that translate into the things I want to design, right? And
Yeah.
I really don't have a preference of games I like to play. Like I like them all,
Yeah.
right? I'll play everything. So I think like 60-40%. 60% of me is like, all right, I want to primarily design PvP stuff, and then the
Yeah.
40% single player. Like how, I don't know, in terms of a portfolio, is that something I should, like if I really, I don't know, 6 out of 10
Yeah.
or 60%, like I want to do PvP, like should I really specialize in a portfolio that's dedicated to that, or?
I mean, I don't think. Sorry, Nathan. We're kind of going off from what you're doing there.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Whatever helps.
No, I think that it's kind of, you think of it this way, like pragmatically. I feel like PvP level design, if you're trying to build a portfolio for it, it's going to be a little bit easier, in my opinion, to build something and have work that is impressive. When applying to studios and everything, because with single player, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work to build something alone that is impressive for a single player, experience, right? And like to kind of,
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people make this mistake where they try to like build full levels. Like, I'm going to build this huge level. I'm going to make a Last of Us level, and that's great. Like they fit it in, they come up with their own cool narrative that fits with the story, and they're doing all this really awesome stuff. But it's like, oh man, it's like, it would take like a year plus, way more than that, to flesh that out to the degree that it would be like super impressive. And it doesn't have to be like a perfect final product, or project, but it just takes a long time, right? Like it takes a lot out of you too, to kind of put all your eggs in that basket. Whereas with multiplayer, it's like if you play a lot of different things, like you're saying, it's like you can make the Valorant map, you can do whatever other multiplayer games, Call of Duty, whatever it is, Apex, and you can like pump those out in a few months and have like a pretty solid portfolio to start applying to those studios, to get your foot in the door at least, So
Sure.
that's kind of my take on that, but yeah.
In terms of like, because when I envision the roles I'd be going into. It's something junior associate, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, I don't know, like, is that luxury available of being like, okay, I'm gonna apply at only multiplayer studios? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it totally is.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Right
Absolutely.
on.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will also say too, though, because especially with the industry, it's very difficult to get into nowadays. I'm always the person that tell people like, if you're trying to get your first job, I mean, you're working at Naughty Dog, and from what it looks like, you've worked on I think The Last of Us and another. I think you're working on the multiplayer one. Let me go to
Yeah.
Discord.
Primarily, yeah.
Okay, cool. Which is good. So it shows you have industry experience, which is always awesome.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I think 100% you could definitely like if you're focused on wanting to multiplayer, then just apply the multiplayer stuff. But if you ever get to a point where you're like, oh man, I just want to like try to make some levels, then I always encourage people to like apply to everywhere as they can. But I would think that having some QA experience can be helpful because you show that you've already have worked on a game that's in the industry, which is awesome.
Hey Nathan,
Okay.
just so you know, it's 9:15 already. I don't know if you were trying to get through everybody. I know we kind of went off, and you maybe a few more things to wrap up with Levi. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna look at his resume real quick. That I was gonna go on
Yeah,
to
go for it.
ransom
Do it.
everybody else next. Yeah. Cool. So one thing, Levi, I think your resume here looks pretty good. Big thing here, I would say honestly, put on your projects, have a project section to show me that you actually want to be level designer. Because right now I see QA, software developer, and supervisor. I would honestly say get rid of these two things here and have a project section and like talk about the projects that you're working on, like your what was it? Like the Throb or the Valorant map. That will be a lot more helpful for you than just having this. So for just an example from my resume, these are all the stuff that I worked on when I was in school, and I talk about like prototyping and concepting, whiteboxing levels, and things of that nature. And of course, I can always send you. I'll probably post some of these resumes in the portfolio review chat or somewhere, or even post this website so everyone can take a look. But does that make sense?
Yeah. Thanks for showing this.
Yeah, no problem. Well, in that case, I'm going to move on to Ransom. Is he still here?
Hey,
Still
thanks,
here?
Levi. Levi, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions or anything.
Yes, please reach out if you have any questions. Cool. All right, Ransom, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Good. I think looking at your stuff, you said you want to be a narrative designer, or do you want? Because I see levels, art, and narrative. Like, so what exactly are you trying to go for?
Yeah, definitely the goal is narrative designer, but since that's more a bit hard to get into from understanding just less positions, because level design also. And since I have with art, since I'm a visualization major, I didn't know that helped me or not to put that there. I've heard some people say to like, or it doesn't hurt. Some people say not to. I don't know.
Yeah. No, so big thing I would say, especially, well, I guess one big thing. What studios are you trying to shoot for? Like, you try to shoot for like AAA, indie, like where exactly?
I think I prefer indie because the sort of stories that they tell generally like more. But probably just anything. But yeah.
Okay.
But the
Yeah.
specific studios, would that be a question or?
Yeah, I guess the top 3 Pacific ones.
To remember what I wrote, probably something like God of War. So that'd be like Sony Interactive. Against Private Division.
Mhm.
Games like that. Maybe I kind of like that game company. So that anything by like Outer Wilds is pretty cool. The stuff like that, basically. So that kind of sphere.
Right, for sure. So I guess one big thing I would tell you is that when it comes to doing a portfolio for the industry, trying to specialize is the key thing. Because right now, looking at your stuff, I'm not. If I was a recruiter looking at it, I'm not sure what you would want to do. Because narrative design, level design, and art are very, very different. Especially with art too, right? The way you present a portfolio for art is going to be way different than you do for level design, and even narrative design as well. So I guess the big thing is like picking like the one you want to do the most and really focusing on that way you can like tilt your portfolio towards that. Having the art stuff, like you can have it probably in the background somewhere if you want, but if I always kind of say like if you're not really going for art, because you can always just tell people like when you're in interviews like, oh yeah, I like have a background in art because I did visualization, text data, where I had to learn animation and graphic design and all that other type of fun stuff. So I guess that's my number one thing for you is like trying to really find a focus.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Sounds
yeah, I guess if you are wanting to do level design, having more of a breakdown here, because right now you have a GIF here of the guy running around and stuff, which I think you're using ArtStation. Okay, I have some opinions about using ArtStation for LD, but either way, I think the biggest thing is like showing off your process, because as a designer, that's what matters. It's like I want to see how you get from your idea stage to like the next stage. Idea to like block out to like an engine to finalize. Like that's what recruiters really want to see, and hiring managers as well, because they want to see your thought process. And I'm sure Ryan could attest to that since he is a lead. Let's see.
Yeah, it's
I guess
it's really valuable to note like what your thought process was behind stuff, but also like for every project that you have, it's always nice to see like what are your thoughts after the fact, like what's your postmortem, like looking back on it now, what could have changed, what you could have done better, what were some challenges along the way, like any just sort of elaborating information to kind of go on about is nice, not just kind of like what you contributed, but like how you contributed that and how did that affect you and like how did that go for you. Yeah.
I did, if you click the details link, have like a bit of like a blog post with sort of stuff around that.
I see. So
Okay,
for that, then I would say if you can have it to where it's all like on one page, that'll make it a lot easier. Because like, yeah, you may think, okay, cool, they can focus on this, but for a lot of recruiters, recruiters are analyzing so many resumes, portfolios on a daily basis that if they could honestly just see this and go on to the next portfolio. So just to make, because you don't want to use a lot of clicks, so I would just say if you can move all this to make sure it's all on one page. Because this all looks really nice with the top downs and the blocking out and stuff. So yeah, if you can put like all of this also here, so I can then scroll down, look at it, that will be a much better situation for you.
Okay. I heard a couple people tell me to just make my thing shorter, so I wasn't sure if like both would be good, but I can see just being just confusing as far as like if you can actually click the link and whatnot.
I think part of it here is that where you have at the top contributions, it's kind of like it's not like enough now. Now it's like too little under contributions and kind of like, maybe you need to have like my design process, or like you have process right there, right? But you need to have something like that on that other main page. That can kind of be a summary of all of that stuff, and then also it's like contributions is the same size text as everything below it. Like you can do more to kind of like highlight these little sections. And then you could also probably take details and make it more details, or my design thoughts, deeper analysis, so it's like on this page, I know what's there without going there first. Like I kind of get a little bit more context here before diving into that. And I don't know like what you can do with your, this is ArtStation. Okay. Yeah. So you're kind of limited with what you can do. I was going to say, if there was a way to set up like a drop down, so it was like more details, and then it's like a little arrow that you click on. So it like folds out on this page instead of having you navigate to another page. But that's minute thing. That doesn't really make much of a difference. But yeah, I think that you could probably just have a little bit more information under contributions, and have like a more like process section where you just kind of really wrap up everything a little bit, and then also have a link, and then just change that link to be under like more details, more design thoughts or whatever.
I see.
You probably don't need, I don't know if you need the date, album, I don't know, if there's things that you can trim down on like that, you could do that too.
Yeah.
I guess you're limited by the functionality of ArtStation as well. So, yeah.
I've been considering moving to Wix.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wix is also helpful. Let's see. Let's go to the resume. I feel like I saw this before. Yeah. Let's see. Sleep projects, cool. Education. So education, you probably honestly just put this as one line. You can just say BS in visualization, Texas A&M, and then like when you graduate. So I think I kind of have that for mine here. I have like Bachelor of Science. So you're just gonna say Bachelor of Science visualization, Texas A&M University, graduation date, because the education part really isn't as really the biggest deal.
I see.
Hey, Ransom, I would say like with the resume, like there's people that say go back and forth, but to me, I think having a white background is going to make the whole thing a lot more readable. I feel like your thing's a little bit more condensed, and you could probably do something to space things out a little bit more, whether that means shrinking some of the font or adjusting your header so it doesn't take up as much of the page, like bring up your name, maybe shrink it down, put game designer on the left, or like just some different formatting here, because it's all kind of like squished together, right? Like it all kind of reads like the same kind of chunk. There's that. Also, like make sure you proofread some of this stuff, like you have under Sun, Moon, and Harmony. Planned is spelled incorrectly. You might want to like fix that. And then also I saw that on the website too, on the page for that. Just it's very small, right? But it's like one of those things that if someone catches it, it's whatever. You always want to have good grammar on this kind of stuff.
I was want to say like the background of your resume looks cool, but it's like I would typically resume is to display information, not to look pretty. Like I can read this for me, but some people may have a hard time. So usually having like you can have color in it and give it some personality. But you don't need it to like look too extravagant, if that makes sense.
There's like looking pretty, and then there's just being like a well laid out kind of
exactly.
setup. Like even like small things like on the left, like the left side, you got skills, software, languages, and then like languages is in capital, but all the other ones are right. And like I get it because it's a big word, but consistency, and then also the way that that side panel lines up. Like skills. The text title skills, maybe that should line up with projects, and then software could line up with that working overtime, and then languages needs to line up with like what a borrow brawler, like make it so that it kind of reads nice and clean across every section. But other than all that, this looks it does look fine. Like these are really nitpicky things, but this is all stuff that kind of helps in the long run, I think.
Totally.
It's definitely still a good pass though, for sure. All right, you have any other questions, Ransom, or anything you want to ask us?
Nothing at the moment.
Awesome. Right. Sweet.
Thank you.
All right, next person is Daniel. What's up, bro?
Hello.
Hello. So I know I've gone over your resume, your stuff before. Do you have any like particular questions or anything you want us to particularly look at when it comes to your resume or your portfolio?
A couple things. A lot of the like things like the demo reel and like this sort of homepage hasn't really been touched too much, but I feel the individual project pages laying out the information I have, what I've contributed to the projects, I feel it's missing some videos and images, but I wanted to see if just the overall readability was okay to a fresh set of eyes.
Okay. Let's see, this makes sense because this is still being worked. Yeah. This usually makes good sense here. It has to drop down. Sweet. That's a lot of text. If you can break this up with some GIFs or some images, this would be really helpful. Because right now I just see a big wall of text here. Usually having some images. The game looks really cool, but usually having like some images or like some, if you prototype in mechanics. Actually, where are your contributions? Let me see what you say. So if you can like even have some, you have like controllers here. Even you have like some GIFs or some GIFs here or some videos showing off like the camera controller or the controller being used in some interesting ways, or whatever mechanics, if that makes sense. So for example, like let's go to Kyle's stuff here. Let's go to Ruby's chart. So yeah, you can see here Kyle has me just able to break out some stuff here. He has a video here for combat. He goes into talk about the combat stuff as well, but he still has a video so you can kind of like look at that. He also has some mechanics here as well, and I think if I click on the mechanics, yeah, he has the video that's showing up on the mechanics being used. So some stuff like that. That way, because the big thing for me, I think, is just being able to break up all of this text here. And I'm sure you have like some good information in here, but as we know, recruiters swamp a lot of times, so that no one's going to take the time to read all of this.
Yeah, it depends too. Like, I think everything Nathan is saying is totally 100% valid. I think that like once in a while you'll get somebody that's reading this and they're like, if it's like somebody on the team or the lead designer or something, and it doesn't matter about the image, it's like they're going to read this stuff because if this is good information and things that I want to read, then I'm going to keep reading it, right? And then it doesn't matter how long that wall of text is. So there's going to be somebody that reads that and gets what you want them to get out of it. Breaking it up with images or GIFs is totally great. You could also, like, if you scroll up, it could be a couple things. Like if you, so like even here, like under the video, you could have like a carousel of images before responsibilities, right? So they can kind of like hang here for a second and look at the images and then decide if they want to keep reading, and then you don't have to break up that wall of text with images if you didn't want to, right? So there's like a couple different ways that you could go about it, right? So,
okay.
Yeah, I kind of like, I like the idea of breaking stuff up like what Nathan was saying and how he showed Kyle's, just because it's just nice to have that variety as you kind of go down and get to click on things and see the visuals of what it is that you're explaining right there. So
yeah.
Oh, there you go. You got it down here.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I can like move that up,
Yeah,
but also
absolutely.
maybe along with the GIFs and stuff, I think that would.
Yeah. Or even if you
enhance the
had
pages.
like one of those for each, maybe not each section, but you had like two of them to break it up, and you only had images that were, related to the few chunks of text that you have before breaking it up again with another carousel, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Well done.
Let's just go to one more. Bandit.
I was going to ask about because you mentioned like in progress GIFs or like process work. What if you don't necessarily have that on hand? I mean, I have like the finished product, but the process work, I might be able to dig somewhere. But for example, like this project, relatively short project, I don't think I have any process that I can visibly show through GIFs or videos or images.
I mean, if you have the project itself, you can always just like play through it and give off some GIFs, or like, because what I did for a lot of my stuff is I would play the whole game, have like a video of it, and then I would take GIFs from that. A lot of like the top-down maps, or even some of the blockouts I had, like for example, if I can just go back to mine, like this image here I made this like after the fact from the project. And even this as well, because these were like already done kind of sloppily, of course, because we're making video games. But then to clean up for the portfolio, and trust me, like if you see any of those top-down maps that look absolutely gorgeous, like I'm sure 90% of the time they did not do that while making the game. They probably did it after the fact. Just for presentation. So yeah, a lot of the stuff you can do is like after the fact, but it's like you did that process. You're now just trying to make it prettier. So you're just trying to make it look nicer to look at, rather than having a screenshot of a notebook with really ugly drawings like what I would have. You have like a Photoshop photo or something in Figma, whatever you use to make it look more readable. So you can finesse it.
All right, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Just a time warning.
Yep. I'm about to go to his resume right now.
I'm the producer of the show.
Oh god, not the
I'm gonna
producer.
Yeah, I recently made some adjustments to the resume, just some small things after one of my old producers looked at it for a referral. He made some comments here and there, so I made some recent adjustments.
Yeah, this looks cool. This looks great.
Yeah, this looks solid. Yeah, this actually looks really good. I don't really see anything that pops up. Anything, the red's usually a really loud color. So it could be a bit softer, but other than that,
I like it.
nothing really else yells at me.
Great. That's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess any other questions now if I move on to is Richie? I do not see Richie in here. Big sad.
No, Richie didn't
Uh,
respond, so he didn't get it. Who wasn't there somebody? Wait, who was it?
Alexander. I think
Okay, yeah.
Alexandre. I was going to go to him. Probably the Lex. I think he's here. Yeah, I see him. He's actually right below.
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll move on to your stuff then, Alexander.
How do you pronounce your name?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Alexander is fine. It's because it's in French, so it's written different. But Alexander works. Or Alex.
Okay. Okay. I'll say Alex.
Yeah, that's fine.
This portfolio reminds me of somebody else's that I've seen.
It looks like Nick's Verducci's, I think. To me.
No, it's not
No.
Nick. There's a guy named, I think his name is William. He works on the Hitman IO Interactive.
Right.
Yeah, it's I kind of based my template on the TGA students.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, they all have a very similar
It's all mixed.
templates, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what
Yeah.
I based my template on.
Are you?
Yes.
Have you gone to TGA or?
No, I think it's in Sweden.
Yeah.
Or yeah, so I didn't go there, but I watched their portfolio and I thought it was
Cool.
really clean. So
Right on.
First thing I realized is when you look at the link here, you have copy of Metroid Exodus project, and this is a Ghost Recon inspired project. So yeah, make sure that your links match up with whatever the page is. Production. That's a really nice notebook. I would never
Yeah, I
draw
like that.
anything that nice in my life. I will draw really ugly circles and squares. Oh, this is nice. I like this.
Yes. Yep, sectioning off and titling the images like this. This is really cool. Like a little
Yeah.
timeline.
GIFs too. I like those a
Yeah,
lot.
that's really great.
Yeah, level breakdown. Affordance, drawing attention.
You know what we should do, Nathan, is we should like when portfolios like this have little bits that are really awesome like this, we should save them and use them as reference in the other portfolio reviews and stuff. You know,
I was about to say,
like,
yeah,
to
I
go back to
would-
like you did with Kyle, kind of, right? But like,
Yeah,
to,
no,
like,
100%.
to build a list of the ones from everybody that we've had. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. That way we can always show different variations and stuff like that as well.
We've got
Yeah,
a
'cause
question
this is
here.
this. Ooh, question. What's the question?
Sorry, Nathan, I cut you off. Someone
No,
asked
you're
if
fine.
Fraser Fat asked if or Fat, is this site using Wix? You can change the URL by navigating to the SEO options under menus and pages, I think.
yeah, it is made with Wix. I just haven't realized the issue with the URL on top, but I'll fix it after. That's a good it's a good thing I need to fix.
Damn, this was me in Wix. Shoot, this looks really good for a Wix site.
Yeah, when you pay for Wix, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is this is a full playthrough. Okay, that's at the bottom. Okay, so this is just my opinion. I always feel like the full playthrough should be more at the top, so I can kind of see everything. But the way you have everything laid out, though, like I get a pretty good gist of how the level progresses and stuff. So that's probably my only thing. But other than that, this is a really solid page.
Yeah, I would kind of
So
agree with that.
Yeah.
Just because some people like time, they might just want to watch it just to kind of get everything out of it. But it is cool because you kind of like you got Nathan to go through the whole thing, right? You can like not
Yeah.
trick the person, but you get them to actually pay attention and read and see
Yeah,
everything.
and I didn't even say a word about what to change because I'm just like, yeah, this just looks really good. This follows the same format, so there's like uniformity.
And for everybody watching, like this is a great example of a portfolio where there's a lot of information here, but there's not the feedback of, oh, it's a little too wordy, because it's broken up with the images and everything matches, all the text matches to something, to some sort of visual that you can kind of get the context, which is just really great. Like that's kind of like what I think we were talking about before, with all that on the other
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like I said, this is a very solid
Yeah.
portfolio.
That's
I
a
guess
great
you have some
idea.
other-
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, somebody posted on Twitch that we should add like a portfolio examples page on the Discord server so people have access to the standout portfolios. That's a really great idea.
That would be
Totally.
yes, that
Let's
would
do
be perfect.
Yeah, this is all
Let's
nice.
see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Alex, I don't really have anything to say because this all looks really solid portfolio-wise, personally. So,
Let's see the about me.
yeah.
Nice. Moody. Montreal.
I mean, yeah, this is a good portfolio. I don't really have anything really to add to it. I mean, I'm sure people could give their own little tidbits, but I don't know. Honestly, all this stuff looks really
Yeah.
solid to me.
I love how he's got on there that he discovered Unreal in 2020. This is like what he's
like he just found out it was a thing.
No, but like just that it's like, it's
Yeah.
only been, 3 years and
3 years.
this is how far you've gone. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
So wait, so actually can you go
Uh,
back to About Me though for a second? I just want to read sorry. Okay. So have you graduated yet?
I'm currently in my final session, but we're working on like a big production, the entire class together.
Yeah.
So on my since the entire session is based around this project, I have a lot of free time other than that. So I've been completing all my portfolio, my
Okay.
personal project on the side.
So when are you going to
Okay.
start looking at, like, when's the earliest that you can get a job? I guess you said if you're in your last session, probably soon, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I already started kind of looking around, searching for job opening and stuff like that, since
Does
I'm
your s-
pretty much at that level.
Okay. Does your school require you to do internships or anything?
No, they don't require anything, since it's like it's a private
Right.
private college. So it's more like it's a very short condensed program. So we're not required to do anything. We're not like even the
Yeah.
grades that they gave us is more of like a base layer just for us
Okay.
to know how we perform, but they're not really that important. It's all about the portfolio and what we
Okay.
learn from it.
I actually really like that. That's a nice approach.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that is
Okay.
really good for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
have
I
any-
would definitely say you can start looking for a job soon because getting a job in this industry is really hard, and the sooner you can look, the sooner you can kind of look, the better.
Mhm.
Do you have any questions for us, or does anybody have any questions so far for us?
I had one question about the resume because I don't have a resume on my portfolio.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that's something that I should include inside my. Well, I see you found it, but
Yeah.
it's not inside my portfolio directly. So I don't know if it's a good thing to insert it inside my portfolio or keep it just because when I apply, obviously I send the resume. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth to include it also inside the portfolio or not.
What would you say, Nathan?
I usually say it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt having it on the portfolio site because you don't know. Someone could literally be looking around and stuff and type in level designer and they can come up with your thing here and it's like, oh, this portfolio is great. Where's his resume? So
Yeah.
I always think having it there is fine. If you don't want to have like your email and your phone number on there, you can always like take it off of the website version and just like leave. You can just leave your email and like your portfolio link on there and then take out the phone number.
Okay.
Also, it's like I was just, when we were looking at your site, in the About Me section, I don't think it says when you graduate or like what your plans are. So it's like if you applied to a job or if I just stumbled upon your thing or somebody shared it, like I would have no idea like what you're all about or like what's going on. So I would definitely post it up on there. And also like you should probably try to trim this down to one page. Usually it's like the standard
I was about to
resumes
say.
with one page. If you think about it, it's like, in 10 years when you've worked at a few places or whatever, is it going to be 5 pages? You know, like what are you going to do? You're going to eventually have to trim it down. And since you're just getting
Mhm.
started, it's like, you know, red flag. You should totally just try to just trim the fat and put it all on one page. Only relevant stuff. You don't need to have your soft skills on there, I don't think. I haven't read through all of it. Yeah, like you don't need to. Oh wait, PM fitness. Oh, okay, cool. Art director, photographer. Yeah, like you can probably have like a little hobby Yeah, you do have a hobby section, so you can put it down there, and then even it's questionable. You don't even need the hobby section, right? Like it's only relevant to level design at this point if that's what you want to get into. I don't think it's entirely necessary for people to know that you were a photographer. But I guess if that's your current position, then yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I agree with what I said. Definitely making this one page rather than 2. Like having the section. Yeah, like having this section here with your contact information. Having your project section and having a work experience or a software or a skill section is nice. Also, you definitely don't need to have these soft skills here. Because these don't really tell me anything as bullet points. Like fast learner. Okay. On that note, you have like a organization critical thing like it. I could if you could say that within like a portfolio or the projects, that would be a lot better than just saying that. That like even with leadership, like don't just put that. Talk about how like you led talk about maybe how you led an initiative on a team or led something for mechanic, things of that nature. But yeah, definitely cutting down this will be really helpful. So I think that's so far the only smidge I really have here is that.
And if anybody else has any questions, please post them on Twitch. We can highlight
Yes.
them and talk about them. Nathan, was there anybody else?
I mean, yeah, Rishi's not here.
Did we do 4?
Yeah, we did Levi, Ransom,
Okay.
Daniel, and Alexander. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Cool.
we did 4.
I felt this was so much better. Like I felt like, I mean, you did great 2 months ago when we did the first one. I think that was the first one, right? And then last month I did one, and I felt like after I did it, I realized like, yeah, something needs to change with that. I think having everybody here to talk through stuff was the best. That's so much more helpful, in my opinion.
It is.
So we should totally do that
Yeah.
more. And then I think so many people signed up that we should probably do more of these, like more than once a month. Not with you, like I could do one during the week or something like that randomly. Try to schedule some stuff out, but yeah, cool. Right on. Does anyone have any questions? There's 23 people watching the stream, and there's a bunch of people on Discord. If the people on Discord, you're not watching this stream, I guess you should be, but maybe we can, if you want, if anyone has a question that you want to ask, you could open up your mic and just go for it on the Discord.
Got time. Taylor, Brando, Tim, Zach.
Nobody has a
anyone?
question?
I guess I have one bit more specific. Would you guys talking about for my website with the thing that just says the details on it? I was wondering, I guess for you, Ryan, you're saying that I could probably do some just fill it out more and then have it just say postmortem or something, and still have that be like a separate part, or
sorry,
that's even more.
Can you say that again?
Oh yeah.
That?
So for the part of my portfolio where it just has a very short part and then it says details and then you looking at were you saying that instead of having it on the single page, one thing I could do is just fill out my contributions a bit more and then have a thing that says that has a longer page after that I could click on, just maybe title it different, or
What I was saying was that you, under contributions, after contributions, you should have another little section that's just kind of like my process or the design process, where it's like a paragraph right here on this page that is a condensed version of what you have on that separate page. And then you should also just still link that separate page, I think. I think that's what I think you should do right now with this, right? If that's kind of what you've got working through ArtStation and everything, I think that the best case scenario is to do what Alex had, which is kind of the long version is the main version, but it's broken up cleaner with more images, and all the text matches to some sort of visual so that it doesn't seem too run-on-y. You could probably also just sit back and read through a lot of the information that you have on there and really just try to trim down on like extra wording, sentences that you don't need. Do what he's doing here with like highlighting text, different color, and like just matching everything to some sort of visual and keeping it really kind of short and sweet is what I would suggest. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. And I'll definitely say too, just to show off some stuff, like kind of how this is how I kind of do my portfolio when it comes to doing stuff where I have small paragraphs here with images, but then I also have like a design blog which goes into a lot more about the entirety of the process that I worked on. Like for me, I have the paragraphs to kind of like show little tidbits, like, hey, this is like a quick little run through, and then if you really want the deep dive, then you can go into this and read the entirety of everything.
Okay.
And
So like
people,
maybe like not. Oh, sorry.
no. Yeah, I was just going to show too. This is actually my friend Abdul. He's working at this studio here now, and kind of how he does his stuff. If I go to, let's go to this one here. Yeah, he has things kind of similar to what Kyle and I have done, where he shows like a blackout timeline. He has an overview, the goals of his project, so you can see he also does it pretty well as well. So everyone kind of does it differently, presentation wise, but just ways to kind of help be able to show off your process, but also be able to break it up a bit so it doesn't feel really overwhelming. Because if Abdul only had text right now, this would be very, very scary to read.
Yeah.
But these images help a lot.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions? It could be non-related to portfolio stuff. Someone said something. Tim?
It's me, Tim. Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. Sorry, this is half formulated, so I apologize. I was working on something extremely long form. I was cut off early. So I've been working to polish up my work. And like try to connect my design stuff together. It's the issue is, since it was so long form, there's a lot of content to polish. Number one, obviously, you said working on single player games and showing off portfolio content for single player games was quite difficult because it takes forever to build them. That's true. I kind of am trying to figure out what my scope needs to be for level of polish. Because I have so many different skills to use, I tend to jump between tasks a bunch, which is a problem. Is there a way to like judge scope? Because I was working on an open world game.
Yeah.
So what I was...
Who are you working on this with?
I was working with a studio in Switzerland.
Your personal project, the level itself, who are you working on with it now? Just you?
It's me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so it was a level that was from that game? Am I understanding that correctly?
So I was actually designing the entire open world.
Okay.
And we were like breaking it up into regions, and like planning out long-term progression.
Yeah.
Right when January came around, it kind of fell apart because I wasn't getting any support by my other team members, so we didn't make our deadlines.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you would, scoping wise, I mean, I would imagine that you would cut most of it down from what it was when other people were working on it. If you haven't done that, then totally, that's probably the first step, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if your goal is to finish the whole thing, I mean, I don't know because I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're doing. But I would suggest that you not cut things, but section things off into very, like think of a timeline, like have small goals in mind, and put yourself on some sort of time track, like give yourself like 3 months and say in 3 months, as an example, this is what I plan to have done. And pick like whatever, a handful of things, whatever it is, or finish a narrative beat or whatever section of it, whatever it is, and scope it how you feel like it should be. And then at the end of that 3 months, ask, did you get all that done? Okay, no. So then now I'm going to give myself 6 months to do the same amount of work, or okay, this is silly, I can't do all of that in 3 months. What was I thinking? I'm going to go another 3 months, but now I'm going to cut down on what I do for the next area, the next chunk of work that I do, right? And then just find that sweet spot. But I think you need to kind of be very flexible with what you cut down in scope, because now you're just one person. And even if you have a lot of skills and you feel like you're confident that you can do it, working on games is hard, right? So
I don't really have that much time.
Yeah. So
that's also like the big issue.
Okay, so now you're doing it like you're doing it for, like, are you still working for that
No.
company? So who are you doing it for? Why don't you have a lot of time?
Because I don't have any money.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So I don't have because they actually didn't pay me for the last 2 months of work I did.
Oh, that's not good. So you're trying to get it done to sell it to somebody, or what?
No, I need to have something that's worthy of a portfolio.
Yeah.
And they kind of left me with a bunch of stuff that was unfinished. So
So you just want to get it done for your portfolio so you can apply elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way though. Like, wherever you're applying to, they don't know if it's done or not.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I honestly would I don't know how long the level is, right? Like, so this is just in my mind. I'd cut like the whole, cut all of it except for like the parts that are the most finished, and then just finish those sections in like X amount of time that you give yourself to the most polish, and then only show off the bits that are done. Even if like all the systems, even if all that stuff isn't done, just get something, that can impress. If it's just a short, like a couple wow moments, right? Like 30-second clips from that level. You can literally have like 2 30-second clips from the level where nothing works in this level if you're actually going to play it, but you're never going to give it to anybody. You're just going to have GIFs and videos from those 30 seconds, those chunks. So I would start doing something like that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
if it's about, your livelihood and just getting it out there so you can start applying, because you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket by assuming that this thing is going to get you a job, right? So it's like, do what you can and then start applying is what I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, because it's like Ryan said, they'll know that if it's done. And if you were the one blocking out the entire open world and it was a good chunk of it, I think that will still be, that itself is still like really impressive. And yeah, as long as you can polish it up also, like that would be cool. I mean, even if it's just like block out, if you want to add art, cool, but even if it's like just block out, that would be fine, because I'm sure most people are going to understand, like, yeah, I was working on this with people and then things fell apart. I don't think anyone's going to go, well, you should have just finished all the systems and done all the art, like, like you're a level designer, like that's what you do.
Yeah.
The level.
Yeah, it was like a game with survival mechanics. So it's like I'm not gonna
Right.
set up all of the resource systems and stuff so
Which is
they
fine.
actually function. Yeah, because I was left with a project that doesn't actually initialize, which is a problem. I can't fix it. So I just set up my own new project with all the work that I had done imported into it. But
And that's really cool, yeah.
yeah, okay,
Cool.
thanks.
Yeah. Right on.
So,
All right. We're kind of at time, Nathan, unless you had anything else you wanted to add.
no, not really. Just thanks for coming, guys. And if anyone has any questions, they can always hit me up. And if you ever want more questions, or if anyone here didn't get a chance to get a portfolio review, I can always like do something on the side whenever I have time. But yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, please use the forms that we have too on the server if you want some feedback quick. If you don't, want to wait until the next stream. We'll try to do these more often. Like right now, we've been doing them once a month with Nathan, and it's great that so many people sign up. But what sucks is that we can only get through like 4 or 5. If we try to rush. So maybe I might add one during the week that I do. I mean, I just need to get more on Twitch and do this stuff. It's really cool that we have people that want us on here, so that's awesome. I'll upload this video and last month's. I didn't upload last month's. I kind of wanted to edit both of these together and then upload it as one video. So I might do that tomorrow or Tuesday. It'll be up if anyone wants to watch those. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube or to Twitch, do the follow, do all that stuff. If you're watching for the first time and you don't know about the Design Den, join our Discord. All the links are in the profile. And thanks everyone for coming on and watching, hanging out, asking questions. See y'all next time.
Sure.